Allo, allo, it's Nia. Welcome to AI Creator World Podcast, the place where creators learn how to grow faster, build smarter, and turn artificial intelligence into real opportunity. Here, we explore powerful AI tools, content strategies, personal branding systems, and new ways to create income in the digital era. If you are building something online, you are in the right place. Let's begin.
If you break your arm, an X-ray gives you this really clean binary answer. It's broken or it's not broken. It's incredibly precise.
Right, there's no guesswork at all.
Exactly. But if your digital growth stalls out, if your follower count just completely flatlines and your engagement drops to zero, the diagnosis is usually this murky nightmare of guessing games.
Oh, absolutely. It's so frustrating.
Right. You're left wondering, is it the algorithm? Is it my lighting? Do people just hate my face? Welcome back, learner. Today, we are throwing out the guesswork entirely.
We really are. We're going straight to the data.
Yes, we are taking a deep dive into the literal architecture of modern digital fame. We've got our hands on a really comprehensive breakdown. It's called the AI Influencer Growth System, the complete strategy that actually works, published by the AI Creator World team back in March of 2026.
And it is a fascinating read, honestly.
It really is. So whether you are an aspiring creator trying to build a brand, a seasoned marketer, or just, insanely curious about how these massive digital followings are essentially manufactured from thin air today, this deep dive is your shortcut.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, a
Yeah.
shortcut.
Right. Our mission here is to dissect the exact machinery behind the accounts that scale predictably versus the millions that just, stall out and die.
And to really understand that machinery, we have to start with a massive paradigm shift. I mean, the data we are looking at establishes this core premise immediately.
Which is what exactly?
It's that the entire creator industry is obsessed with tactics, when they really should be obsessed with systems.
Oh, that's a huge distinction.
It is, because tactics answer the daily kind of panicked question of what should I post today to get views?
Right, like jumping on a trend.
Exactly. But systems answer a much more stable question, which is what should I build? A tactic like using a trending audio track that might win you one viral post.
But it doesn't last.
No, it doesn't. But systems compound over time. Every single piece of content you push out feeds a data layer that makes your next output fundamentally better.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the fundamental difference between random, panicked posting and an integrated system is what this roadmap calls the ecosystem dependency chain.
Yeah, I love that term.
It sounds super technical, right? But it's actually incredibly logical once you see it laid out.
It really is. I mean, the dependency chain basically means that every single element of an AI influencer account affects the next element in a highly specific, unbreakable sequence.
Unbreakable, that's the key word there.
Totally. So it goes like this. Your niche dictates your algorithmic topic signal.
Okay.
That topic signal then dictates your distribution, so who the platform actually shows your content to.
Right, the audience.
Exactly. And then that distribution decides the quality of your followers. The quality of those followers drives your engagement rate. And ultimately, that engagement rate is what determines your account's actual monetization value.
So it's literally a strict chain reaction.
Yes, 100%. If the first domino falls the wrong way, the last domino never even gets touched.
It makes me think of it's like an actual biological ecosystem. Think of the algorithm's categorization AI as this highly sensitive water filtration system for a river.
Oh, that's a great way to look at it.
Right. If you feed it clean, consistent data, say, your content is strictly about minimalist text setups. The algorithm knows exactly which pipe to send your content down.
It sends it straight to the tech enthusiast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the moment you pivot midstream and post like a random cooking video, you've introduced a chemical it just doesn't recognize.
The filter clogs.
The filter clogs. The algorithm gets confused about who you are, the flow completely stops, your distribution drops, your follower quality tanks, and your engagement just dies.
You're essentially dumping toxins at the source of your own river.
Yes. You pollute your own stream.
That filtration analogy is perfect. Because just like a real biological ecosystem, you absolutely cannot isolate the variables. To prevent that algorithmic pollution, you need an antidote.
And what's the antidote here?
It's a rigid 5-phase system: foundation, content engine, growth loops, optimization, and monetization.
Okay, 5 phases.
Right. And what's crucial to grasp here is that these aren't just arbitrary steps on a checklist, they actually form a flywheel.
Like a mechanical loop.
Exactly, a mechanical loop where momentum builds on itself. So you cannot skip to phase 3 if phase 1 isn't totally stable.
That makes so much sense. And learner, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by the sheer amount of growth hacks being screamed at you online, this is your relief.
Oh, for sure.
You don't need 100 expensive software tools. You really just need a blueprint. So let's pour the concrete. Let's look at phase 1 and phase 2, building the machine.
Let's do it.
Phase 1 is all about the foundation, and it starts with getting hyper-specific.
The analysis here is just unequivocal. Micro niches drastically outperform broad categories every single time.
Really? Every time.
Pretty much, yeah. You do not want to be a generic lifestyle influencer. That ocean is way too red. You want to be minimalist morning routines for remote workers.
Oh, wow. That's specific.
Or like personal finance specifically for Gen Z freelance graphic designers.
Okay, but wait, why? Doesn't going that small limit your potential audience? I mean, you're cutting out so many people.
I know, it seems super counterintuitive, but no.
Nah.
Because micro niche accounts get placed much more precisely by the platform's categorization AI.
Oh, because of the topic signal we talked about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
From your very first post, your content is bypassing all the general noise and reaching people who are already actively searching for that exact specific thing.
Which means your conversion rate is going to be crazy high.
Right out of the gate, your viewer-to-follower conversion rate is incredible because it's a perfect match.
All right, so you've locked in this hyper-specific persona. But a great digital face doesn't mean anything if it's just sitting there in the void, right? You need a visual identity.
You definitely do.
Now, the strategy here talks about balancing character consistency,
Oh, right.
which means keeping the exact same AI-generated face, the same fashion style, the same overall aesthetic.
Right.
Balancing that with composition variation, meaning different lighting and different background settings.
Yeah, that balance is critical.
And they actually recommend building a set of 5 to 8 predefined virtual environments using saved Midjourney reference prompts and then applying consistent CapCut color grading to all of them.
That's the technical workflow, yeah.
But wait, I have to push back on this a little bit.
Okay, what's the issue?
If I am just putting the exact same digital face in the exact same 5 virtual rooms over and over again, doesn't that get incredibly repetitive for the audience?
It sounds like a recipe for boredom, I totally agree. But what's really fascinating here is the underlying psychology and, more importantly, the algorithmic logic behind it.
Okay, I'm listening.
That character consistency actually acts as a massive algorithmic anchor.
An algorithmic anchor, what does that mean?
Yes. So the platform's image recognition software, the AI that actually scans the pixels of your video before it even pushes it to human eyes, it needs to know exactly who and what it's looking at.
Right, it has to categorize it.
Exactly. If your lighting, color grading, and character face are identical at a metadata level, the algorithm instantly categorizes you. It knows you are a safe, consistent entity.
Oh, I see.
And for the human audience, those 5 to 8 varied environments say, you know, a cozy workspace, a rainy city street, maybe a bright studio. They provide just enough visual novelty to prevent content fatigue.
So they don't get bored.
Right. But that consistent face keeps the account instantly recognizable as a user is doom scrolling at light speed.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. It drastically reduces the cognitive load for the viewer.
Exactly. They don't have to figure out who they're looking at.
Okay, I see. It's brand recognition on steroids, engineered perfectly for a machine's eyes and a human's attention span.
That's a great way to put it.
Which creates a natural bridge to phase 2, the content engine. Your foundation is poured, you have your visual anchor, but now you have to feed the algorithm constantly.
And that is where most people fail.
Right, it brings up a massive logistical problem.
Yeah.
How do you produce that much high-quality AI content without burning out in, like, a week?
The focus shifts entirely to sustainable output here, and the secret weapon is rigorous content batching.
Batching.
Okay. Yeah, the roadmap outlines this workflow where a single 3 to 4 hour focus session every week can cover 5 to 7 highly polished posts.
And to do that, you clearly need the right tools. But the beauty is, you don't need a massive tech stack.
No, you really don't.
The minimum viable tool stack for 2026 is actually just 5 core programs.
Just 5.
You use Midjourney to generate the consistent character images. You push those into HeyGen to actually animate the AI avatar so it speaks naturally in the video.
Right.
You use CapCut for all your editing, pacing, and color grading. Use Claude or ChatGPT as your creative partner to write the actual captions, scripts, and psychological hooks.
It's super important.
And finally, you use a platform like Buffer or Later to schedule everything in advance.
Yeah.
You don't need 50 subscriptions. You just need these 5 working in absolute harmony.
Exactly. And what are you actually producing in that 3-hour session? The strategy dictates 5 core content pillars that you rotate through every single week.
Okay, what are they?
Educational, lifestyle, opinion, community, and trending. And this isn't just for, variety. Each pillar is engineered to trigger a very specific algorithmic metric.
Right, I remember this part. Educational content, like a step-by-step tutorial, drives saves.
Yes.
People bookmark it to look at later, which is a massive positive signal to the algorithm.
Huge signal.
Lifestyle content drives watch-through time because people are visually captivated by the aesthetic. Opinion content drives comments by sparking debate.
Getting people talking in the replies, yeah.
And trending content, jumping on a cultural moment, drives shares. You are systematically hitting every single algorithmic trigger point.
Every single one.
So what does this all mean? It means our river is flowing perfectly, the machine is built, but a factory full of product is useless if you don't have delivery trucks.
Which is the perfect transition into phase 3, growth loops, and phase 4, optimization. This is where we take that baseline content and make it mathematically compound.
Okay, let's get into phase 3.
Phase 3 is all about engineering one piece of content to automatically generate secondary distribution.
Right, the viral frameworks. The roadmap details 3 specific psychological hooks to get people to stop scrolling.
These are crucial.
First, the transformation hook. This is your classic before and after. How I went from a cluttered desk to this minimalist dream.
And that drives shares because people want to show their friends the aspirational gap.
Exactly. Second, the strong opinion hook. Like, standing desks are actually ruining your focus.
Oh, people love to argue about that stuff.
Yes, it drives comments by inviting both fierce agreement and angry disagreement from your niche. And third, the ultra-specific tutorial, which drives those highly coveted saves we talked about.
But, having a great hook isn't enough. How you deploy that content is where the real growth loop actually happens.
And the specific detail that absolutely blew my mind here is the cross-platform strategy. Learner, you really have to listen to this. You do not just blast your content everywhere at the exact same time.
No, definitely.
You stagger it. You take your Instagram reel, you post it. Then you wait 24 to 48 hours. You use a tool to strip the metadata and remove the Instagram watermark completely.
That is so important.
Right. And only then do you post it to TikTok.
And we really have to explain why that 48-hour wait is so critical. These platforms are in a literal multi-billion-dollar arms race for attention.
They hate each other.
They do. Meta and ByteDance are actively scanning every single video uploaded to their servers. TikTok's API is sophisticated enough to detect subtle metadata, compression artifacts, and pixel patterns that just scream, "This was made for Instagram." So if you post simultaneously, or if you leave a watermark on, TikTok's AI just assumes it is syndicated spam and actively suppresses your reach. It will literally throttle the video.
It's essentially platform jealousy.
It really is.
By staggering the release and stripping the watermarks, you are technically tricking the AI into treating the video as native original content every single time.
Exactly. You get full distribution.
And it goes further. Your best educational carousels get reformatted for Pinterest to capture long-term search traffic.
Smart.
Your top 3 performing reels of the week go to YouTube Shorts so they get indexed by Google search. It is just this beautifully orchestrated heist of human attention across the entire internet.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, though, all of that massive reach means absolutely nothing if you aren't learning from the data it generates.
Right, which brings us to phase 4.
Yes, phase 4, optimization. There is a brutal reality check in this 2026 data. Without phase 4, your system just flatlines.
You hit a wall.
You will hit a ceiling of maybe a few thousand followers and just stay there indefinitely. Phase 4 is what makes the system self-improving.
And the optimization process they outline is incredibly rigorous. They lay out a strict 8-week A/B testing cycle. And it has to be done in a very specific order.
Order is everything here.
Weeks 1 and 2, you are only testing posting time windows. That's it. Nothing else changes.
And why do we test time first? Because of the scientific method isolating the variables,
Right.
if you create the cinematic masterpiece of an AI video with the perfect hook, but you post it at 3 a.m. when your hyper-specific target audience is sound asleep,
The engagement is going to be terrible.
exactly, the data you collect will be useless. You won't know if the video is bad or just the timing. You have to lock in the optimal time window first.
That makes total sense.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so once you have the time locked, weeks 3 and 4, you test different hook styles.
Mhm.
You pit a curiosity gap hook against an immediate value hook and see which retains viewers in the first 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Weeks 5 and 6, you test the actual structure of your carousel posts. Like, are list-based formats outperforming narrative story formats?
Yep.
And finally, weeks 7 and 8, you test your caption calls to action, your CTAs. You test them last, because if your timing, hooks, and structure are failing, nobody is reading the caption anyway.
Exactly. They've already scrolled past.
So at the end of week 8, you look at the hard data, you lock in the winning formulas, and your baseline performance permanently levels up.
And you aren't just, subjectively guessing what a winner looks like. The text provides hard, cold, algorithmic benchmarks for 2026.
Oh, this is the good stuff. Let's hear the numbers.
Lifts define the starting line. If you are a nano-tier account, meaning you have anywhere from 0 to 10,000 followers, your system is only considered healthy if your overall engagement rate is hovering between 3.5% and 8%.
Okay, that's very specific. What about the video metrics?
For video, your reels need a watch-through rate of over 50%.
Wow, 50%.
Yeah, meaning half the people who start the video watch it all the way to the very end. And for your educational content, you need a save rate of 1% or higher.
And if you aren't hitting those numbers,
If you aren't hitting those exact numbers, it means your boat has a leak, your system is broken, and you need to go all the way back to phase 1 or 2 to fix your content before you even dream of moving forward.
well, here's where it gets really interesting. Phase 5, the monetization minefield.
Minefield.
I call it a minefield because the data shows that rushing to phase 5 is the single most common reason AI influencers completely implode.
Yeah.
It's the trap of early greed.
It is absolutely lethal to an account. The authors lay down a non-negotiable rule here.
Let's roll.
You must have a consistent engagement rate above your tier benchmark for 60 consecutive days before you introduce a single piece of monetized or sponsored content.
Wait, 60 consecutive days?
Yes. 2 full months.
Let me play devil's advocate here, because in the creator economy, 2 months feels like an absolute lifetime.
Oh, I know.
I mean, trends die in 2 weeks. Why wait so long? Isn't there a massive risk of leaving money on the table if you have a video go viral on day 20 and you don't monetize it?
It seems that way, but it is entirely about algorithmic trust loops.
Yeah.
If you go viral on day 20, the algorithm is testing you.
Effing you how?
It is watching to see if you provide consistent value. If you immediately hit that new audience with a heavy-handed sales pitch on day 21, they will swipe past it.
Ah.
That immediate drop in retention signals to the algorithm that your content is no longer valuable. It's just spam. You erode the very trust signals that the algorithm is using to distribute your content.
So it punishes you.
Exactly. Those 60 days prove to the AI that you are a reliable retention mechanism for their platform.
Wow. Okay, so patience is literally profitable here.
It really is.
And to manage that balance once you do start selling, they emphasize the 1-to-8 ratio.
That's a great rule of thumb.
One sponsored or promotional post for every 8 purely organic, value-driven posts. It prevents your account from looking like a cheap digital billboard and protects those crucial trust signals.
Precisely. And, when you are finally ready to monetize, you don't need to guess what people want to buy.
No.
No. The strategy offers a brilliant, low-risk approach for digital products. You just go into your analytics, you find the educational carousels that have already hit 300 to 500 saves.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Right. You already know there is immense proven demand for that specific knowledge. So you simply take that exact content, expand on it slightly, and convert it into a paid PDF guide or a Notion template.
That is so smart.
It's not creating new work from scratch. It's simply a format conversion of proven data.
It removes all the guesswork completely. And to bring this all back to the river ecosystem analogy we talked about at the beginning, you can only harvest the apples once the tree has deep established roots.
Lovely.
If you try to scale all your components simultaneously, like if you add 3 new platforms, double your posting frequency, and start running paid ads all in the same week, you will break the engine.
The filter clogs.
The filter clogs, the ecosystem collapses. You have to scale sequentially.
Exactly. Synthesizing this entire 90-day roadmap really highlights the compounding power of this system. Month 1 is all about velocity.
Right, laying the foundation.
Laying the hyper-specific foundation, creating your visual anchors, and getting that batch production workflow humming so you don't burn out.
And month 2?
Month 2 is acceleration. Your growth loops are active, you're staggering content strategically across platforms to beat the API detectors, and your engagement is trending upward.
Which brings us to month 3.
Month 3 is optimization through A/B testing, and finally, soft monetization using that 1-to-8 ratio.
And by day 60 to 90, if you've done it right, something magical happens. The flywheel spins so fast that you accumulate what this roadmap calls algorithmic authority.
That is the ultimate goal.
Your topic signal is so pure and your 60-day history is so consistent that the algorithm actually begins to pre-distribute your new content to wider audiences before it even collects the initial engagement data.
It trusts you implicitly.
It trusts you. Integrated phases multiply your growth. Isolated tactics only add to it. So learner, as we wrap this up, whether you are actively trying to build a faceless AI influencer, scale a traditional corporate brand, or establish your own personal thought leadership, the lesson from this 2026 deep dive is remarkably clear.
Very clear.
Build the system.
Don't.
Trust the flywheel. Stop relying on isolated viral tactics to save you, and stop dumping toxins into your own river.
All of this brilliant engineering, though, it raises an important question.
Oh, what's that?
If these exact 5-phase flywheel systems are so effective and they become the absolute industry standard for every single AI creator by the end of the year, what happens when the algorithm is entirely flooded with perfectly optimized systematic content?
That is a scary thought.
Right. When the perfect system itself just becomes the baseline standard of entry, what will be the new, inherently human element required to stand out in a sea of perfect AI machines?
Now that is a thought to mull over. If everyone has a perfectly engineered river, what makes someone actually want to swim in yours?
Yeah.
Think about that as you look at your own digital strategies this week. Thanks for bringing your curiosity today, learner, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Thank you for listening to AI Creator World Podcast. If you found this episode valuable, make sure to follow the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, and share this episode with another creator who is building their future online. For deeper guides, AI tools, and step-by-step growth strategies, visit our website at aicreatorworld.net. And remember, in the age of artificial intelligence, creators who learn faster will lead the future. See you in the next episode. Bye!